What's going on, guys? Ronnie here with the Local Losers. We are officially working on the hard body. You can see this. We're making some door panels. We have the passenger side done here. We're working on the driver's side. And I want to show you guys what we're doing. This is real simple. It hasn't cost us a lot of money. What was this, like 14 bucks? Yeah. You know, less than $20. The vinyl I bought, it's over there. You want to grab a piece of that? This stuff was expensive and it pissed me off, and the person I got it from really made me mad. So I bought 2 yards of this stuff, and it seems nice. It seems nice, but was this worth $250? I don't freaking think so. The guy took me to the freaking cleaners, pissed me off so much. He was like, oh yeah, it'll be not that bad, and this and that, and then he's like, oh, charge me $100 for this trash foam. Now granted, it works good and I like it, but $100 for that, $140 for this. And then when I go to pick this up, he's like, oh, freight was $40 more. Oh, I wanted to stab the guy. Anyways, it looks nice, so we're happy with that. I 3D printed some stuff. We'll show you that to really clean it up and get it nice. We also have some parts that we have to order because we don't have them. And then another thing to add more to our, right here, this is our window crank. We don't currently have window cranks, so we're gonna have to buy those and convert my truck. I welded nuts onto my window crank so I could use a ratchet. Well, now I'm trying to make the truck not stupid. And so we're gonna go back to a window crank there. So anyways, let's start off by showing you the door panel, the first one. I got released to walk yesterday. I had my knee surgery 2 weeks ago. Today, I'm stuck. Woohoo, stuff is falling. Okay. So here is what we came up with. It's super simple. Bam. This is the trim piece. It goes here. We just have the one. We need two. But yeah, that's what we came up with. I'm using a toe strap for a door pull so you can close the door. And then I'll link everything that we did here. Everything will be linked. And yeah, so let's get started. Show you guys how we did all this. So step one, cardboard. Always cardboard, cardboard. Made it out of cardboard. We traced it onto this stuff right here. Cut it out with a jigsaw. We have some video of that. Maybe we'll put that in here. Then we came up with this. And I'm using slick side. So the one side's slick and one side's kind of rough. Slick side back. So the foam goes here. And I took this door panel because I wanted my holes to be in the same spot as that one. So I took this door panel and marked these holes. So we're gonna go ahead and drill those out. And then we're gonna self-tapper this back onto the truck, and then we're gonna drill the holes in the truck, and we're using 5mm rib nuts to hold, to go into the door. So these are in the door. And then we're using these little screws right here. Hopefully we have enough. It looks like we're close. These little guys. And then we have this cap. And so this goes in here, you tighten it on, and then you close up the cap. And then it looks nice. So not quite, you know, 90s professional, not using plastic clips. This is much stronger, so I'm happy with that. And I still think it gives it a clean look. The fact that we're using the foam backing on this, it allows them to kind of set in a little bit. I think it makes it look clean. I like it. I'm happy with it. So anyways, let's get started. Okay, I'm just drilling out my holes like I said, and then we're gonna move on to mounting this thing back on the truck. I did 12 holes, which might be excessive. I did 9.5 inches apart. The only ones that aren't are these two. They're close. Everything else is 9.5 inches, 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, blah, blah, blah. So anyways. So after you drill your holes, they're gonna be, I don't know if you wanna come look at this, but they're gonna be kind of messed up. They're gonna be all uppity like that. And then the back side is going to be the same way, but even worse. So what I found is if you take a razor blade and you just hold it flat and you just go real fast, it just cleans that up. So I just do this to all of them real quick. Takes no time. Flip it over, then do the other side. All right, so like I said, I'm using these rib nuts and little bolts. So what I'm gonna do, I've already mounted this card up to make sure that I liked how it fit, and I have some self-tapper holes here. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab these self-tappers, put them back in, line them up. That way it's where my door panel's gonna go. Sorry, this door doesn't open as far as the other one. So now that it's holding it in place, I forgot my drill, so we gotta go get the drill. And then we're gonna drill all our holes for our rib nuts. Okay, so when you're rib nutting, get yourself a drill bit. Obviously you need a drill. And you gotta make sure your drill bit is smaller than your rib nut. This is the actual drill bit that we're using. This is the drill bit that we use to go through our wood here. So we're gonna go and punch all the holes, and then we'll show you how to put this in. Make sure you don't go too big. You go too big, this rib nut will not work. Let me go change drill bits to a sharper one. All right, drilled all the holes. I'm using the rib nut gun. This is a Doyle from Harbor Freight. Pretty inexpensive, got it on sale. I like it because you can, and the way these work is when you squeeze, you can see it squishes it. And by doing that, the metal that you're working on gets squished in between those two layers of metal, and then this thing's stuck in there. So that is what we're doing. So we just go ahead and thread one of these on, put it in your hole you made, give it a squeeze. Then I like to tighten up just a little more and give it one more good squeeze. Then you gotta stand up and make sure that it's nice and square, and then undo it. And then on to the next. So that's what we're doing 12 times. I already did it 2 times. So 10 more times. Rib nuts are in. Now let's go over there. We're gonna start assembling that door panel, show you guys what materials I picked, and start getting it together, I guess. This is the hard part of this whole thing, you know, because we're actually trying to do something nice. So we gotta take our time a little bit. But it's fairly simple, and I've learned some tricks. So I'll show you guys that. Not that I'm a professional, I've done this literally 1 time. This will be the 2nd time, this door panel. So let's go see what we got. So look at your foam and try to pick what side's nicer. This kind of has a thin spot here. So I think we'll use that for the inside, and this will be the outside. So go ahead and lay this on, get it where you kind of like it. And then we're using this Super 77 adhesive. They have Super 90, which is supposed to be even stronger, but this seemed to work pretty good on the first one. So that's what we're gonna use. We'll see if the nozzle is still any good. It might not be, it is, it's just fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start on one corner. We have this thing kind of set where we like it, and we're just gonna give this a pretty generous coating. The reason I'm doing that is because this board is pretty porous. And so I really want to get this glue in there to hold this stuff down well. And so we'll just do that, and we're going to let it tack up because it's real like runny right now. And so you want it to kind of dry to get sticky. So we got to wait for that. So one thing we want to try to do is get all these kind of wrinkles and waves out. So we're going to start down here, and we're going to tack up this bottom side. So we're just going to take our spray adhesive, Like I said, I use a pretty liberal amount. Just trying to make sure this stuff stays stuck. Just go ahead and try and stretch it, press it. You know, if you have to, peel it up and pull it down. The problem is we haven't tacked anything up there, so we're really only trying to press this way. Let me get that looking really nice and tight there. I think that looks pretty good. So now we can start working it out forward. So just pulling this up. Like I said, just trying to make it nice and tight. Looks real good. This stuff's a little wavy, which is a little annoying, but what are we gonna do? I guess probably mount it the other way. This side isn't wavy. So pull that back, and here we go. Here's our last little run. I'm doing 2 layers of this foam, just to make it a little more squishy. I don't know how big of a difference it really makes, but I like the way it feels on the first one, so that's what we're doing. So there we go. Now, this is the part that I learned. You take your razor knife, and you got your foam on there, and you can just trace this thing out real easy, maybe. Okay, so there's our first layer of foam done. Looks pretty good. We actually, because of what we did, this is kind of cool. We cut out a perfect bottom. Look at that. Okay, but I don't like it. It's upside down. I was telling you, I want to put this side out.
Can you flip it over?
No, because this is not symmetrical.
Dang it.
Anyways, almost good. All right, next one. All right, so first layer of foam's done. Now we're working on the second. I flipped this. I like this texture a little better. And now it's just the exact same thing. Lay it down, get it tight, and go from there. Okay, sorry, I got confused. You really want to stretch this stuff. We started down here and laid it, then we came up here and really, when you pull on this stuff, really give it a pull so you can get all the wrinkles out and try to work them down. And really get that glue on there, because if you don't, you're gonna have wrinkles. Now, you can see we have wrinkles this way. We haven't stretched this way yet, but our up down looks really good. We don't see any wrinkles up down. So now, since we've already kind of set these well, we're gonna start doing some trimming and folding these corners over. You can see where I cut that wasn't a great spot. So anyways, let's continue. Now, I don't really know what I'm doing here, so just keep that in mind. The guy that I watched on the internet was much better than I am. He probably had done this more than one time, would be my guess. He also didn't like this being way over. He said it looked cheap. I feel like it gives it better adhesion, but again, he's done it way longer than I have. Okay, so I'm just cutting some relief here. That way we can start stretching this side over. For a good stretch. See that? Looks pretty freaking good. All right, so these guys, they're a little different, a little bit hard to do. We're gonna put some extra tack down here. And then these are gonna kind of get cut into little triangles. Try not to put the vinyl on top of each other. That way it stays the same height. You know, we're not trying to stack it all up here. All right, here's what she looked like. And we'd be proud of that. Little mess up here and there. Now we're gonna cut out our holes for our door handle, our pull strap, and our window crank. That's what this one is. Just finger it a little bit. Make it feel good. But yeah, that's what we're doing now. So let's go ahead and work on that. We're gonna get all these laid through. This one doesn't really work, but luckily I 3D printed something that's really cool that goes there. So I'll show you guys that. Remember, don't go all the way to the corner. That's the #1 rule. Because then your cut could come through the other side. And we don't want to see it on the front. We only want to see it on the back side. So hit this with some old squirt. That's it. Just grab them and pull them on through. And see, you might have to get in there and just give yourself a little more. Get that looking right. And we have little things that'll cover this up so it'll look nice and good. This one, I just make a slit the whole way because we have our secret weapon. All right, let me go wash my hands. Got some glue on there, we'll have to clean that up. Let me go wash my hands and we'll be right back. Okay, this is my secret little part that I made. So I 3D printed this. This is a trim piece to go where our pull strap goes, and it clips into this hole right here. So it's not the easiest thing to get in because it is a pretty tight fit, but it does go in. That's what's important. I'm gonna get myself some room to push. Okay, the last thing we gotta do is now we gotta go find all our holes. Easier said than done. So I'm gonna chase all those down, and then I'm gonna open up around them. Bam, there's one. There's another one right here. Okay, I went and found all my holes. Cut them out. Now we're going to drill backside through every hole. I got my finger underneath, that way the vinyl doesn't get messed up or anything. Oops. Press down, anything left? Okay. Let's go install this thing. Look at it. So nice. All right, now we are gonna install it. We're using our little bolts here and our little caps. I'm just starting them all by hand. That way we don't cross thread any of the rib nuts. And it allows me to kind of finish fit the door panel a little, get it, you know, as high up as I want. We are gonna paint all of this black along with the door jamb black. That way it looks a little fresher. But this is step one. And that's basically what she looks like, which is super sick. I love it. Really happy with the way this came out. There she is. Looks so nice. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's our first time. And I think for our first time, it looks pretty dang good. So that's it for this video. Watch the next one when we put this in.